Dun dun dun. Hey, Sonny, how do you like my new avatar?
Looks good.
D&D, Barbarian.
Hmm.
So, for those who don't know, I drew this myself, messing around on uh, Microsoft Paint. So, I mean, whatever. Um, I showed it to Greg Gillespie too, and he kind of made fun of it because he said the helmet was too small. But he likes historical accuracy. So, um, but maybe Sonny, uh, in one of these videos, we should make an avatar for you, and we could do one for Abigail. That would be
Yeah,
fun. I could draw one
yeah,
up
that's
for both of you guys. That'd
pretty cool idea.
be a good show. Um,
Yeah.
Speaking of Abigail, she can't join us tonight because she's got throat issues right now, and her voice is just not able to be on video. So, unfortunately, we can't have her on. Um, and um, Speaking of Greg Gillespie, we are going to take a peek at not just a peek, we're going to do like a full flip through of the long awaited Dragonslayer RPG because it is now released and available. And we've been waiting a while for this, and we're looking forward to it. All right, let me share my screen, Sonny. We're going to take a look. All right, so first of all, um, I'm going to show you part of what came with the PDF bundle. So he sends the whole like front, back, and spine. And what you can see from this is that, well, first of all, it's got this awesome Jeff Easley cover, very, very nice. And done by one of the greats of the TSR days, just an excellent painter. And then it's got the iconic orange spine, just it looks like a TSR book, and it's fun because it's OSR instead of TSR. Of course, stands for Old
Yeah,
School Renaissance. And even the back, the way like it fades from dark to lighter on the back, it's just really awesome. What do you think, bud?
pretty good.
Yeah, I love it. So, um, if you get the PDFs, you get the front and back cover, but you also get the full text, but it didn't come with the cover, so I took the cover front and back and spliced them in so that I've got it on my PDF, the cover along with it. But let's dive in, shall we? Why don't I increase the size on this so that we can appreciate it a little better? Okay. So we've already seen this, like, I don't know, frontispiece, this splash page. It's super awesome. I really love it. Um, I think we've actually colored that. Me and some of the girls colored that and sent it in. This is cool. So
Cool.
this is kind of like a founding philosophy for the game, right? Role playing isn't storytelling. It's if the dungeon master is directing it, it's not a game. And fundamentally it is a game, right? I mean, the story emerges from the game.
Yeah,
Not you know, you have this predefined story so much, but like, yeah, you might have a scaffolding of story like in an adventure that you're running, but how everything happens, that's kind of depends on player choice and how they respond to stimuli and things like that. All right, so I think we've covered a lot of this in our first go rounds. Take a look at the table of contents. So there's a character sheet at the beginning, uh, some introduction, some terminology. Greg's really thorough about um, you know, being explanatory of terms that might confuse new people. Um, but at the same time, the thing is just full, just littered with Easter eggs from the days of yore. Just old school stuff, first edition, and really what the philosophy of this game is it's it runs like BX, but it's got a lot of the bells and whistles of advanced, so original AD&D, right? So it's kind of a mix of basic and advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and it's just designed to really lean into all the good parts of both of those systems. Cool. So we're gonna look through all this stuff. Looks like there's character races, classes, multi-classing option. That'll be interesting to look at. It's
Yeah.
coinage conversion. What's your opinion looking at this table of contents, bud? See anything interesting?
Not in particular.
Okay, well, we're
Table
gonna
of
go through it.
contents.
We're gonna go through it. We're gonna see. I mean, it's got all the stuff in here that you would want. This is like a one-stop shop for a game. Like this one book will service you for an entire game. It's got monsters in it. It's got spells. It's got everything that you need. It's got how to create a dungeon and design an adventure. Um, wilderness hex crawls and everything. FAQ stuff like
Yeah.
that. Here's a character sheet. It's pretty basic, but very serviceable. Here's your THACO at the bottom. All right.
Yeah.
And then it's two sides,
So
two-sided. It's good to have the
a
henchman
character
and
sheet.
hireling section. That's good to have, actually. Keep track of your retainers. I like to have a character sheet for the retainers so that they have their own character sheet. But I think there is a place that should be on your character sheet where you can log who your retainers are, because you get so many retainers going in the party, and it's easy to forget between sessions who hired who. So that's smart. Now, one interesting thing, I don't see anything to calculate encumbrance on here. So I don't know.
Yeah. Must
Maybe
not be
I'm
like a core feature.
well, I think he's got encumbrance in the game, but in fact, let me shows 5 times. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like it is a feature in the game. That this weight excludes all invalid maximum encumbrance. Yeah, so I mean it's in there. Um, I will have to find out more about it. Encumbrance is a measure of how much a PC can carry prior to being overburdened, and that is, okay, cool. So let's head back to where we were. Oops. All right, we're on page 6. All right, let's get going. Let's dive in. Okay, so talking about Dragonslayer, and here's what he says about it. He says, my home game is a reflection of how I played in the early 1980s with my schoolmates. Like many of my generation, I used the engine of BX with the Chrome of first edition, and that really has been his mantra for this game,
Hmm.
and his philosophy, his founding philosophy on this. And this, I gotta say, this is such an awesome game. It's so well put together. Super excited for it. Um, here's also some founding um, tenets here for Dragon Slayer. Ask exact questions. So when you're the DM is the maze controller, right? From Mazes and Monsters, movie with Tom Hanks, right? Um,
Yeah.
Rulings over rules. So I mean, it's not everything is codified. The DM's going to have to make some judgment calls, and that's just makes for smooth gameplay. And let's see, League of Ordinary Gentlemen player characters are not superheroes, so they're people trying to you know scratch out their um, living by raiding dungeons, I guess.
Hmm.
Let's see, game balance. Uh, I mean, it doesn't mean that they don't have skills. They do, but I mean, it's not like you can just like, rush up and, you know, do a giant somersaults and
Do a barrel
kill a
roll.
dragon with the, your sword in one chop, and you know what I mean? Like, so you, you got to understand that you're like a fragile human being or something like that, similar race. Okay. Game balance. So, um, some contemporary role-playing games note the importance of game balances to ensure player success. This is lame and a boring sanitation of the hobby. Instead, if you really want to know how to play role-playing games properly, read Sun Tzu's The Art of War from 2,500 years ago. If you want to stay alive, set ambushes, engage in deception, gather intelligence, always fight on ground of your choosing, and if your opponent outclasses you in an engagement, run away. So that's interesting because it sounds like he hasn't put a lot into try to make the game balanced in all situations, right? And so you just kind of gotta be smart about what you do. What are your thoughts there, bud?
Hmm. Yeah. Playing smart has always been a core function of classic games.
So who's in control? Classic fantasy RPGs are occasionally derided for too much control on the part of the game master or the maze controller. Although the maze controller does have agency, as the players who control much of the game. The key to success is to keep the dice out of the hands of the maze controller. So, in other words, don't get into situations where the maze controller can kill you, right? So, a lot of take some responsibility on your players, I guess. And then dice rolls. The maze controller rolls all dice in front of the players. There are exceptions. For example, if the MC rolls all thief skills and the player doesn't. That makes sense, right? Because if you're listening at doors, you don't want to know that your roll failed, right? You want ambiguity because you need, you didn't hear anything. You don't want to know that, oh, it's because I failed my roll. You want to have the suspense of, well, maybe there's nothing in there, but you're not sure, you know?
Yeah. And if it's played interestingly, no one will know it's in there until the dice is rolled.
Yeah. So yeah, maze all dice is rolled in front of the players. I think that makes things interesting for the players. You know what I mean? So that's cool. Like, when they get to see a lot of what's going on, they're a little bit more involved. Okay. There are some secret roles like wandering monsters and stuff like that. Players only roll when called upon by the maze controller. Oh, that is interesting. Okay. All right. So here's a terminology page. I'm going to get rid of the encumbrance here. So that is, this is great. And to have it right up front, that is helpful for new players and stuff. I think that's good. So here's character generation. Now we have seen some of this before. It's got all your core attributes or ability scores: strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, and charisma. You notice they're in a different order than you get them with some other systems, bud. I guess this
Yeah.
is like the classic order that they were in. Maybe this was the AD&D order to have the attributes in. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's
I
what
usually
it.
go dexterity, strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom to charisma.
Yeah, yeah. And then it looks like, you know there's an experience point adjustment on your prime requisite. It just tells you up front what it's going to be. And then we got character races. So this is separate race and class, right? So there is no race as class. I'm kind of partial to races class myself, but I mean, I'm fine with it. I do realize that most people do like them separate. I just think it keeps nice, good archetypes, you know, tied up nice and tight instead of getting a weird combination of a race and class that would seem unlikely. But I mean, I do understand that like most people like this, and this is really is in the spirit of AD&D, so it's cool. And we took a look at this in one of our earlier videos too. This is fantastic art. There's more to come. So these are all the character races, by the way. You can be an elf, a halfling, half orc, a dwarf, a human, cyclopsman, which is unique to Greg's game, and then a gnome and a half elf. All right, and then it starts off in alphabetical order. So cyclopsmen cannot drink alcohol, and different things like that. They're a -2 on ranged attacks because of their depth perception, so they wouldn't make good archers.
They're big.
Yeah. Then you've got your dwarf and elf, so they got the dark vision and stuff. And maybe we won't belabor this because we did kind of have a look at the races in our other preview video. So I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of skip ahead to classes, right?
Yeah, because classes is where it's interesting.
And take a look at the art on the classes. So here's a cleric.
He's got big arms.
Yeah, he looks strong and uh, also
He needs
um,
to work on his calves.
well, he's strong and also you know, he's got like that worshipful look to him. Just how I guess a cleric in a D&D world would, kind of tend to look, right?
Yeah, that's what doing baptisms will do to you.
And you start out as an acolyte, uh, D8 for hit points. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, interesting. Does that mean that the hit points are governed by the class and not the race?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hit dice D8, yeah, on the class.
I guess that sort of makes sense
Mhm.
since one would be trained in ways of taking
Mhm.
damage.
How
Like
interesting.
you'd expect
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. So this
yeah,
is good.
you'd
Go ahead, bud.
expect a wizard to fold over easily because he's not like training hand to hand.
hmm Yeah, okay, cool. So, I mean, this is good because, like, here's a race and level limit. So, I mean, humans are unlimited. Okay. A dwarf can only reach ninth level, like that. And this is good because this is provides some control of, having weird combinations of
Yeah.
a race and class that kind of break the mold of classic fantasy. You know what I mean? So having this keeps those guardrails on, and I like that.
Yeah.
Um, some starting gold and your prime requisite, just stuff like that. Awesome. A roll. This is good. It kind of tells you like what to expect about playing this character. You know, which is awesome because then you know exactly what you're in for. You know exactly what you're in for um, when you pick this class just by reading roll. So that's really good. I like that. And some different things about him. Tie, the cleric must pay 10% of all treasure to a temple or religious order, stuff like that. Spell scrolls. So clerics may write their own spell scrolls. It's interesting. Scrolls written by a player only spells the cleric can Currently cast may be scribed. Ah, cool. That's neat. All right. And then here's like a fast pack for building a cleric character. So basically, this is like a grab and go kind of equipment bag for your character's adventure, right? So this is what you would have, or this is the type of thing you would have in your bag. And I suppose that these things would come off of your starting gold that you get. That's my assumption. Here's the spell progression. Okay, so this is different from old school essentials, right? Because in that,
Okay.
acolytes did not have a spell at level 1,
I think
right?
what he's trying to go for here is that he wants characters to be kind of powerful enough that they don't like fold over incredibly easily, but weak enough that the players still need to be smart.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it looks like, your first level character is not useless, which is helpful, like, or at least can meet the main function of their class by casting spells, right? That's kind of a major role of the cleric. There's a cleric turning undead. That's a cool picture. All right, what do you think of this druid?
What a
Speechless.
hippie.
Looks like he needs a shower, maybe.
Kind of looks
Cool.
like Alan Moore.
Yeah, you're right. Except I don't know if Alan Moore's that skinny. I don't know. Maybe he is. I haven't really seen him
It's
like
the
full
face,
body, just the head. Yeah.
face and the beard, and the hair.
A soothsayer, cool. And then, archdruid, all the way up to archdruid. That's cool. So you can only be a human or a half elf to be a druid. Okay, that's pretty restrictive, isn't it? And it does have an ability requirement right there. And wow, D8 hit dice is pretty high for a druid, isn't it? But would you consider druids like a semi-martial class?
I would get, yeah, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it says they're second
They're
line
like
fighters.
they're a lot less of a martial class than other semi-martials, but they're definitely able to fight.
Yeah. So yeah, like Greg here, he says they're spellcasters and second line fighters and healers. Okay, so that's a lot like the function of a cleric as a second line fighter. Uh, but they must be of neutral alignment because of their, nature, everything, balance in nature and all that. So, do you see any cool
Abilities.
abilities for cleric, or I mean a druid?
Nothing I haven't seen before.
Okay,
They're
still looking
kind
at
of
images. Here's me's magic.
they're
Okay,
pretty cool, but I've always found druids to be a little situational
yeah, I guess you're right.
if you're not in the woods.
Yeah, they're pretty out of their element in a city or a dungeon, but you know,
They're still Alan Moore.
yeah.
They can cook you up a good graphic novel.
Hmm. A druid is an early add to the D&D um, line of characters, though. Like it was basically white box era, like before AD&D, if I understand right. All right. Sacred stones. A druid within 30 feet of standing stone or within a sacred stone circle increases the duration of their spell by 3 rounds. Animal shape may take at level 7. Druids may take animal shape. Druid may choose any animal shape for an unlimited duration 3 times per day. Okay. Well, that would be useful. And then, of course, every class has their fast pack, which is really good because, this basically helps your character be as useful as they can be in the game, right? So that's great.
Druids still look like death.
Yeah. That's right. All right. What do you think about the monks, Sonny?
Yeah, missed a
No, this is
spot.
yeah. The male pattern baldness thing. It's not it looks different for everyone. Unless you're a monk.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, so this is like a new um I guess take on the monk. It's a Eurocentric monk, not like an Eastern Asian monk. And so this is like a brand new class type, basically. And so of course, Greg had to come up with his own um, class titles, level titles, and I kind of like these: brother, pilgrim, friar. Those are cool. Um, ability requirements. Oh, they've got some quite a string of requirements there, isn't it?
yeah.
And you can only be a
Must
human.
be
It's rather
because like
restrictive.
in must be because like much like in real life, monks are kind of hard to get into. I think. I'm not a monk, so I wouldn't know.
Well, if I think you would have to like be have a particular set of qualities if you were going to be a monk that would travel and fight, right? Um,
Yes.
so let's read what he said about this. Monk is a subclass of cleric dedicated to a monastic order. They devote their lives to prayer, manual labor, physical training, scholarship, and spiritual growth. Monks are committed to the preservation of ancient knowledge and academic study. Yeah, because they have monasteries and such. Monks lead highly disciplined lives and take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience unto death. Monks serve as warriors, administrators, and counsel, subject to the needs of their liege lord and monastic order. Monks seek to rid themselves of worldly distractions, material and corporeal, in favor of spiritual enlightenment. Cool. So, what is the role of a monk? Monks are second line warriors with excellent maneuverability, learned scholars, and spellcasters. Awesome. So they have to have a lawful alignment. Monk begins play with Common and Ancient Common as bonus languages. That makes sense since they, study old works and such. A monk may use blunt weapons only. Monks may not use armor or shields. Okay, so that is certainly a challenge, right? You can't use armor because a cleric uses armor. Monks cannot. Spare not the rod. Monks are quarterstaff specialists with 3 abilities. First, monks receive +1 to damage with the staff every other level. That's cool. Second, a monk may use the staff to parry or deflect one successful melee or missile attack for no damage. This ability is usable once per combat for every 3 levels of experience. Cool. Third, a monk may trip a medium-sized or smaller humanoid opponent with the staff instead of normal weapon damage. Trip attack must be called prior to the attack roll. If successful, the target falls prone. The trip ability is usable once per combat for every 3 levels of experience. Cool. So they got different vows associated with them. They've got a chant. This is kind of like a Gregorian chant. That's like a Catholic thing. Monk chant. Cool. What do you think about that picture? Oof. Oh man, that guy's getting it in the face, huh? I like that picture. That's cool.
Me when get hit by big stick, big hurt.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
The Donatello from Ninja Turtles,
Yeah. But cooler.
like Cowabunga dude.
All right, here is the fighter. Oh man, that looks awesome, doesn't it? Look at that art.
Yeah. He's
Oh, it's
a
so good.
he's a stouty guy.
So the same artist that drew, you know, the same artist drew all of the classes. I don't know if you've noticed that, but he had the same artist draw all the artwork for each class. So he was Greg was consistent about, keeping things with a similar look. So, the same guy that did the dragon did all the dragons. Same guy that did the classes did all the classes like that. So it looks really good. Look at this. This is awesome. So this is your classic fighter. Not much to it really. I mean, it's just a fighter, right? It's pretty wide open. Um, a half orc goes to level 12 for a fighter. I think that's where you would probably default as a half orc, but I don't know. There's a cleave ability. If a fighter kills a target, he or she immediately receives one additional attack for 2 levels. Cleave applies to both. All right, so I think that yeah, if you kill somebody, you can move on to the next and kill someone else, and you can keep going until you're done. I guess until you don't kill. I think that's how that works. All right, can use all weapons and armor. Wow, look at that. That looks awesome.
That's a big scary dragon.
Yeah, and look at this. Look at this fighter. He looks so good. Just kind of has this like Norman look to him. Looks great. How do you like the Barbarian?
Um,
I think it's
he
awesome. Look at that. I love the wolf skin and
is he a
bare
furry?
chested, bare chested, and yeah, no, I just think it looks great. That's super awesome art. And he's got like the tusk or teeth around his neck like that.
He's
It's a cool belt. Wouldn't want to get poked with that buckler. Kind of like a Conan. Like I get a great Conan vibe, but it's obviously not Conan. So that's cool. I really appreciate that actually. That it's like here's like a barbarian, but it's not Conan, but it feels like it is kind of. I like that. Yeah, and look, you end up a barbarian king. That's cool. All right. Oh, they got a taunting ability. Taunting a barbarian may induce berserk rage. Oh, okay. So I guess they
do not tell the barbarian a yo mama joke.
yeah,
You
okay,
will
so
die.
they lose their crap. And berserk range, a berserk rage. Barbarians may incite a berserk rage once per day. While enraged, the barbarian receives melee combat +3 temporary. Cool. Barbarian always attacks the closest opponent. Um, all attack rolls after the rage are -1 until the barbarian rests for 1d3 hours. Yeah, that kind of gives them like a heightened boost. Oh, look at that picture. Oh man. He's doing his rage.
He's it's gonna be a bad day for someone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great picture. Okay, so a barbarian has some thief abilities. That's interesting. Did you know that Conan started out as a thief?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so that's,
He's
you know,
a
appropriate, isn't
6'10" mountain of muscle sneaks up on you. How did he get there? You don't
it?
know, but he's there now. Kinda terrifying, kinda hilarious.
What sorcery is this? A barbarian has a 4% passive and 8% active chance per level of seeing through an illusion or phantasm. Oh, wow, interesting. So they kind of have like a bit of a leg up against
Disadvantage.
illusionists and such. Well, it sounds to me like it's an advantage because they see through an
Oh,
illusion, right? So they're able to perceive, when an illusionist is casting a spell on them.
they're very much anti-magic class.
Magic scorn. Barbarians distrust magic. They openly scorn magic users, but revere druids and shamans. Barbarians refuse to use miscellaneous magic items until level 3. Okay, so they can. They can use magic items after they reach a certain level. So that's an interesting compromise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Barbarians never hire henchmen or hirelings. That is interesting. What would they do then? Single minded. Any act, spell-like ability, or magic item that confuses, weakens, or induces fear in a player character is unlikely. 50% unlikely to affect a barbarian. Fusions, weakens, or induces fear. Okay, wow. So they got some really great bonuses. I mean, this is a huge downside here. They can't hire retainers or henchmen, but some of these are, you know, good bonuses. Uh, they can detect a backstab, 8% chance per level.
You're about to sneak attack the really big guy, and then he just turns around, says hello, and you're dead.
Hmm. Barbarians distrust magic. They openly. I already read that. Let's see. Cry havoc for each barbarian in a party beyond the first. The duration of berserk rage is increased by 1 die. Oh man, so they feed off of each other when they start to go crazy. Man, this picture is perfect for you know the barbarian kind of.
The savage, the savage
Yeah,
man.
it's really good. I love it.
I definitely play that class.
Here's your saving throws. Yeah, yeah. Here's your paladin. Look at that. Oh man, that looks awesome.
He is going to go
Perfect
on a
time.
crusade, and he
Yeah.
will take Jerusalem.
Mhm. Yeah, he looks like he will. Yeah, he's gonna rescue Jerusalem all by himself, liberate Jerusalem. Yeah. Well, look at that. Start out a squire, cavalier, like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, so human and a cyclopsman can be a paladin, which is pretty unusual, but I'm glad to see at least that it is narrowed down by races pretty significantly.
Yes.
Because I what I don't like is Dragonborn Paladin. I want me a Dragonborn Paladin. It's like no, that's dumb. You see, look, Timmy, that's dumb. So anyway, this is
Look,
great. I
Timmy,
love
there's
this.
no lore reason.
Yeah. So you got some prime requisites. You got a D10. What was the hit dice on a fighter? Was it D10? Sorry, I missed that. On a Barbarian, it's D10. Yeah, I think Frontline Fighters is D10. That's pretty high.
Well, if you're going to be frontline fighting,
Yeah. So let's see. Plate mail. Some level 1 barbarians are
paladins.
sponsored. Sorry, paladins are sponsored by their knightly order or religious temple and begin to play with plate mail and shield. Oh, wow, that would be cool. Can turn undead at level 3. Man, must be lawful good. Now it looks like there's a 9-point alignment system, which I do not prefer. I like the simpler 3 alignment system, so I'd have to get used to that. Kind of like the basic concept. Basically, good, selfish, and evil. I think people can be generally categorized into those categories anyway. Um, but that's fine. I can get used to that. Let's see. Weapons and armor. Paladins may use all weapons and shields, of course. Forsworn paladin must defend the weak and the infirm. A paladin cannot commit evil or observe evil with indifference. Severe alignment deviation strips a paladin of all abilities, and he or she reverts to a fighter. Well, pretty awesome. Oh, look at that. Oh, man.
Don't be a simp and you get to be a paladin.
Was that?
Don't be a simp and you get to be a paladin.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man, that looks so cool. Those skeletons are in trouble, and they know it. Man, that's
They
great.
need that's a John, Jimmy, and Roger.
Yeah.
You need to give your skeletons names.
So here's your spell progression. They get cleric spells, but they don't get spells till level 9. That's, quite a ways up. So if you were looking for spells, you really should go with the cleric. But if you want a fighter that will have access to spells later on, then paladin is awesome. Okay, beginning at level 7, if paladin kills a target, he or she immediately receives level 1 additional attacks. Is this the same? This is as a
Yes,
fighter?
that's the same as a fighter.
Except this is beginning at level 7. So when does it start with a fighter? Let me see. Man, this is so cool. Look at this art. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Cleave. I think it's just standard for a fighter.
Fighting classes. Frontliners.
A fighter kills a target. One at level 1. Oh, I see. It goes. Oh, you get 1 additional attack per 2 levels. 1 at level 1. Okay, so you start at level 1 with this ability, but you can only do an additional attack. And then at level 2, whatever. Okay, so yeah, that cleave ability is more particular to a fighter, but a paladin can tap into that later. So, pretty awesome. All right. There's your ranger. Nice.
Aragorn.
Yeah. Hunter, wanderer, rover, scout, gadabout, master scout. Wow.
Pathfinder. Is that a reference?
Not likely. There was a movie Pathfinder. I think it had a Viking in it or something. I can't remember. It's from a long time ago.
The Northman.
Uh, all right, so you can be a human or a half elf, but not an elf. Isn't that interesting? Cannot be an elf and a ranger. Interesting. Strength, intelligence, wisdom. They have a D12. Oh, wow, they're hardy, aren't they?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Hardier
look, it
than
even says so.
barbarians.
Yeah, it even says so. Rangers are hardy, rough-looking warriors. Rangers prefer the solitude of the wilderness over civilization. They ally with those who share their desire to protect goodness in the realm. They are skilled archers and adept at tracking and hunting attacks of orcs, goblins, and giants. Rangers prefer to work alone and in remote areas, are the first line of defense against evil. I'm glad that he
So I
said
guess
they're skilled archers because really, whenever you say ranger, that's always to me like what their position would be in the party is the ranged attack, the archer of the group.
like in every old school game where Rangers are present, they are the best, most Sigma male class.
Rangers are frontline warriors skilled at, this is their role, skilled at scouting and maneuvering in the wilderness. Must be of good alignment. Weapons and armor. Can use all, oh, they can use all weapons and armor. For light armor to maximize mobility. All rangers begin play with the longbow and 20 arrows. Rangers. Racial enemies. So you get a racial enemy, which is, very D&D. Rangers receive a +1 to damage per level against goblinoids, goblins, orcs, norkers, kobolds, hobgoblins, bugbears, as well as ettins, trolls. Oh, cool. So instead of like, I guess, choosing a racial enemy, you basically you have um, bonuses against these types of bad guys. That's cool. Lone wolf. Only 2 rangers may adventure together at any one time. Okay, so you gotta can't have more than 2 in a party. Camouflage. Ranger may hide in the wilderness if motionless and silent. Oh, that's cool. A 1 to 5 on a D6. That's a huge chance of being able to hide. That's really cool. Look, that's great.
Literally, that's literally just Batman.
Yeah.
This is just Batman the class. Come on,
Awesome.
boys, let's play Robert Patterson.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
However you say his name.
Yeah. I liked his Batman.
He's
I
a good
did.
Batman.
I liked it.
Surprisingly good
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah. And I like Ben Affleck Batman too.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Henchmen. Rangers may not hire henchmen or hirelings until level 8. Oh, right.
I
They
guess
do
they need
get the
something
cleave
balancing them
ability.
out.
Was that? Yeah, they do
I guess
something
they
bad
need
about
something
him.
balancing them out.
Yeah, yeah. Need some kind of disadvantage. Um, being at level 8. Well, hey, you know what? This is it's good because like I think WotC D&D has kind of
Completely neutered
yeah, neutered
Rangers.
neutered rangers. Yeah, exactly. In fact, in the WotC book, it's probably like, you know, neutered. Your ranger has no balls. Something like that. Anyway, um, beginning at level 8, if a ranger kills a target, he or she immediately receives 1 additional attack for 2 levels. Okay, so this is, he's a little bit behind the paladin in the, you know, the
Magic department.
cleave ability. Well, the cleave ability
Oh yeah.
spells. He gets druid spells, which makes a lot of sense,
Yeah,
and not till level 9.
if we'd ever use Dragonslayer, I'll just play a Ranger.
Hmm.
Like best class.
Yeah, well, I certainly would like to run this.
Yeah,
This looks super awesome.
it's got a good mix of the art in it.
Oh, the art
Of
is
like,
fantastic.
it's got that perfect mix of like realistic, but also like
Yeah,
cartoonish.
yeah, and it feels old school, you know. I like it. All right, here's a magic user.
Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White,
No
more like
ability
Gandalf
requirement.
the Fool, Saruman the Silly.
So you can be an elf, a human, an elf, or a half elf. And if you're a half elf, you actually have it worse off than if a straight elf. Okay. And oh yeah, they still get the D4. So they are still as you know, delicate as a kitten, weak as a kitten in their first several levels, maybe. Let's see. Roll magic users are primary spellcasters. May not use shields or armor. They can use daggers, darts, staff, or sling. I like this that they can use a sling because that's exactly what I would equip my magic users with in a party is
Oh
a
yeah,
sling because then that gives them like keep because they're going to be out of the way anyway, right? So of course it stands to reason that they would have a long range weapon to fight with. But everyone always thinks that they're going to be only having a quarter staff or something, but or a dagger, but that in actuality they wouldn't want to get that close. So have giving them a sling would make a lot of sense. So I'm glad that he put that. And why not give them a ranged attack? Because I mean you're gonna keep them out of the way anyway. So you might as well have them being able to throw something, right? Black tongue. I wonder what that is. So now, of course, Dragon Slayer. So it does have, like we said, race and class separate, which is AD&D style. Also in the TSR style of spellcasting, it is Vancian magic. Do you know what that is, Josh?
fancy? No.
That's where you like can only cast a spell once a day, and then you have to relearn it.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So, I don't love that idea, but I can tolerate it um, if the justification isn't like, I forgot how to do magic. So, and I understand that that's an element of this, and like I said, I can deal with it. I deal with it in old school essentials, but I don't like to stress that it's you know oh, you forgot how to do your spell, you're gonna have to study. For me, it's more like, oh, you can only expend your magical energies once per day because that's just how magic works, instead of you forgot how to do it. I just never did like that justification.
Yeah.
And roll to cast is great because then there's a chance of spell failure, or something like that, but it's
And
okay.
spell failure is fun.
Yeah.
Who
Let's
doesn't
see.
love to have your friends um destroyed because you said the wrong word?
Let's see. Magic users, arcane channeling. Magic users may channel or cast any level 1 spell for detect magic or read magic. Okay. Spell memorization limit. Arcane spellcasters like divine ones may not memorize the same spell twice in one day without the use of a magical item. So what that means is um, you can't memorize two charm person spells in one day, right? So like have two slots for charm person or two slots for fireball or whatever. Um, you have to you can only memorize it for 1 slot. So there's your saving throws. And here's your spells. Ah, that looks cool. Look at that. Got a feather in his hat and everything. He's doing magic in his book. Maybe he's trying to translate some Reformed Egyptian there. All right. Got Shocking Grasp. This is interesting. Magic user initial spells. Initial spells. Magic users may begin play with Read Magic, Detect Magic, and Write. In addition, they have a random offensive, defensive, and utility spell. Oh, so this really kind of sets your magic user up at the start because he gets do you see that? Like they automatically start out with Read Magic, Detect Magic, and Write Magic. Those 3 spells. You don't have to like get them as you go through. You already have them at the beginning, and then you get to pick, one of these. Well, you don't get to pick, you roll it, I guess, random. Pick one of these, one of these, one of these, and then you have your other spell that you choose, I guess. So that's a lot to start out with, isn't it? What do you think about that?
I mean, wizards are gonna need a lot of spells to be useful.
Yeah, this kind of makes them, I guess, a key component early on in the game, right? So that's a very interesting dynamic because we're used to playing old school essentials where your magic user is you know pretty toned down. Like basically they cast their 1 spell and then you just gotta keep them out of the way for the rest of the day. you know Unless you give them a sling, which has kind of been in the rules in old school essentials anyway, but I allow it. So that's great. And now here's an illusionist. So what do you think about illusionists?
I think that they are an interesting choice to have when you already have magic users.
Yeah, so the kind of, I guess, begs the question, they would say, of what's the difference between a magic user and an illusionist? And I think that people that are familiar with AD&D would be familiar with this concept of having an illusionist. But here's what Greg says. He says illusionists are arcane spellcasters that specialize in deception magic to manipulate reality. They are adept at conjuring to confuse, mislead, or beguile their opponents. Like magic users, an illusionist's most prized possession is his or her spellbook. And they are primary spellcasters. Um, let's see. Scrolls. It doesn't look like there's any alignment restriction. Gnome illusionists. Gnomes possess a natural aptitude for illusion magic. Oh, that's cool.
Severus Snape
What?
looks like the evil wizard.
All right. So same thing with an illusionist. Like magic users, illusionists have apprenticed before setting out on their own, and therefore begin play with read magic, detect magic, and write. And one of each of those. So that is, I think, a very interesting touch. Oh, look at this. This illusionist has duplicated himself, and this owl bear's like freaking out.
Mhm.
It's a great picture, man. Really cool. Actually, I think illusionist spells, and I've looked through them in Advanced Fantasy, Old School Essentials. They're actually really good spells that I remember from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Really, really useful spells that I'm like, whoa, that was an illusionist spell, and I just kind of like, wow, that's a really useful spell, though. So actually, I think they've got like a lot of useful spells. I think they easily rival a magic user as far as utility, or at least I know in Greg's version they certainly would anyway.
Hmm.
Because he said that one of the issues with AD&D was that illusionists didn't really. They were kind of like he said they were hosed. He said I think what he meant by that was they weren't really given consideration that they deserved.
Yeah.
So here's a
The
thief.
thief. Six, finally.
Yeah, D6. Yeah, no, I think that's that's a good call there. Because given a thief D4, that's pretty low. Um, Looks like just about anyone can be a thief, so that makes sense. These are secondary fighters and scouts. Yeah, and then they kind of have all these other things involved. Backstab. A thief may backstab. A thief must attack his or her opponent from behind using move silently and hide in shadows. Under these conditions, the thief may attack at a +4 for double damage. I'd be interested to see the thief skills. Okay, so pickpockets is 35%, open locks 35%, move silently is 1/3, hide in shadows is 1/4, climb walls is 85. What do you think about this?
It's fair
Yeah,
compared to other
yeah. What?
times.
Yeah, the detect traps is not 10% or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 10%? This is a lot better chances. This is better than 1 out of 3
Yeah.
in your first level. And it goes up pretty steady, 40%. You're 50% by the time you're level 5, which, yeah, and then you get up in level and you're pretty competent. Let's see. Thieves may climb sheer surfaces for 50 feet. Climbing beyond 50 feet requires a second roll. Okay. Wonder if he finds a sheer surface. Let me see here. Sheer. I'd be interested to see if there's a definition for that. What, did I spell it wrong? Okay, no definition. All right, so I guess it's kind of one of those judgment calls. All right, here's your racial thief bonuses. So depending on what race you are, you actually get, you know, plus or minuses. So that's important to take into account. Does that mean being a human thief is the worst? So if you're a half elf, you get plus 10%, plus 5%, but no negatives. If you're a half orc, you're -5 on pickpockets, but you're a little bit better at some of these others. Elf makes a good thief. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not
Makes
not sure.
sense.
I'm not sure what the advantage in a human thief would be. Maybe I'd have to read it a
Unlimited.
little closer. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, there you go. Their level limit. They don't have one. And as you take a look here, like it goes 15 and beyond for thief levels. So yeah, there you go. You could be like 99% on your thief skills. So there you have it. Check it out. Assassin.
Ninja.
Looks cool, huh?
Shredder.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of does look like that. That's cool. What do you think of the assassin class?
They're pretty cool. They they're for the edgy teen.
Hmm. Well, looking at a picture like that sure makes you want to be one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Assassins are a thief subclass with fighter characteristics. I like that. There are clandestine spies and mercenaries. Assassins are small but feared subset of thieves guild. Assassins are support fighters and covert agents. They have a dual wield. Looks like they have a restriction on henchmen. They can disguise themselves.
Like Hitman in the Hitman series.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, right? If you're an assassin, and they can poison. That's cool. They have an assassination skill. They can. It's like an instant kill. Both must achieve both surprise and a successful backstab. Oh, that's cool. It's like a super backstab, basically. Assassination fee. Level of victim. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, and then we're on to multi-classing. So there's rules about multi-class. That's I don't know where we want to stop at. We're moving at a pretty slow pace. I don't want to get
Yeah.
too bogged down. Um, and then we got alignments. So we got the 9 alignments. This is going to be a lot like um,
AD&D.
AD&D. So I think people are going to be familiar with this. Um, Starting gold pieces, coinage conversion. Oh, this is cool. Weapon list, equipment, weapons, missile weapons and range, short, medium, long, armor, cost, AC. Interesting. I don't see a lot. I don't see encumbrance shown. So I'm not sure. I'm not clear yet on how that works. Like, I don't see weights and gold or anything like that. Equipment list. So here's like what you can find like at a store. That's cool. All right. Generic fast pack. So holy water and different items. Water transportation. Here's your list of cleric spells. I think that there's oh, that's cool. Killing all those lizard men. um, and here's your druid spells. And there's me trying to hack back the weeds in my yard. Fighting against the elements, and it's not going well. And that's what I look like in real life too. Not sure how they got this photograph of me. And here's your magic user spells. Oh, look at this. He's casting web. That looks cool. Cool, that would be a weird feeling to have webs go through your fingers, huh? Um,
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
magic user spells levels 4 through 6, levels 7 to 9. Man, they sure got a whole lot of them, don't they? Oh wow, look what he summed up. Oh, that might be a bad idea.
Hey, look, it's you.
Here's your illusionist spells. Oh wow, you know what? All their spells fit on a single page. That's interesting. Okay. And then here's your different spells. So all the spells are in one section, I guess. Oh, now it looks like they're all alphabetical. And then you just look and see like what level and class the spell is for, right? Level 5 magic user, level 3 cleric, level 7 druid. So I guess you have, you know, the list of spells by class and level are here, and then the spells in alphabetical order with the spell description is listed here. I think that makes sense, right? Because then if you're like, okay, well, I want to know the spell description. How do I find it? What's the easiest way to find it? It's alphabetical. Cool. Well, I'm going to cruise through the spells. Okay. There's an astral projection spell. Do you know people do that in real life? It's pretty messed up.
I don't think that's how, that's drugs.
Well, I do think
Yeah,
people like
I
I do.
love, I love PSP mixed with some heroin. It really overdoses.
Well, I do think people like I hear a lot about people that like work on the ability to actually do this. It's not healthy to do like astral travel, but you're like they disconnect their spirit from their body and like they can go around and like it's weird stuff. It's like really not good. But like in a game context, it's kind of cool. It's just a thing like another spell, right? But it's
Doctor
just kind of interesting
Strange.
to look at that bark skin.
I'm
That's
Groot.
cool. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding, huh? Oh, I like that.
It's all fun and games until the magic user grows 7 foot tall tree and then punches you.
Charm plants. Yeah, you know what? These plant spells might seem kind of silly, but then try going
Plants
out
are
and like,
scary.
yeah, try going out and like looking at the thorns on the briars in our yard, and it's that they're like little razors, man. And if that thing had a mind of its own and it was wrapping around you, that would be like extremely painful. It'd be horrible. So yeah, no, after fending off the briars in our yard, I kind of have a new respect for druid spells with the plants and stuff. So, oh, this is magic sneeze. No, that looks like a light spell or something. Um, color spray. Oh, that looks cool. All right, these are awesome. Look at all these. Ooh, magic berries. Elderberry. Oh, wow, look at that. That's powerful magic right there. That's a magic spell. Earthquake. Level 7 cleric. Have you seen this picture before, bud? Or I mean, this street?
Eh, no, I don't think I have.
Okay, well,
Is
it's
that from
like
London?
no, it's basically it's a recreation of a street that is depicted in like the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and but another situation is going on at that time. Like someone was being chased down the street and he was shooting a magic missile at somebody. But this is like, you know, just kind of a
Mama
different
told me not to
scene.
talk to these strangers in
Yeah.
clothes with multiple weapons on their body.
Yeah.
What do
Only
you
told
seem
me
like
not
a
to
nice
talk
fellow?
to assassins, sir. I'll give you a gold piece.
He's
all
right
the
in there.
all the little kids have English accents and the adults don't. I'll give you a gold piece, kid.
When the when the job's done, I'll make sure you have a nice share.
Awesome. Oh, that looks like. Oh, look at there's a trap behind there. I see. Oh, that was a big jump. Holy Gandalf. Oh, look at that spell. Jump. Level 1. Oh, that'd be useful. Yeah. Oh, shock to the system, huh? Billy Idol. Man, the art is so good, you know? I almost feel
Oh
bad that
yeah,
it's only half a page, you know? Just a little thing like that,
yeah.
but it looks good. Oh, look at that mirror image. Yeah. Is that an illusionist spell? Oh, it's both. Okay. There you go. Irresistible safety dance. Ding 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 ding.
Tap dancing.
That's funny. Greg's got a sense of humor. Plant growth. Mm, it's on a giant die. Greg Gillespie initials on there. And this is I think this is a homage to like the page, like the frontispiece page of the DMG, I'm pretty sure, but of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I think that's what it is. It's a cool picture. Okay, read magic. Oh, I like that picture. That's cool. What's this? Remove curse. Oh, no, that's regenerate, I think. Yeah. Level 7 cleric. I got his hand cut off, right? And it came back. Oh, that'd be an awesome spell, wouldn't it? Your grandpa'd have his hand back.
Double shake hands.
Restoration. Rope trick. This is rope trick spell right here. And I like that, you know, the pictures correspond to what is on the page. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just a picture of something and it doesn't have anything to do with anything. Snake charm, and there's a snake. You know, that's the kind of thing I like to see. Spider climb, and you know, guys doing the creepy climb. If I saw someone doing that, I would, you know, be pretty alarmed. It's like something out of The Exorcist, or something like that. Oh, he's puking. Spore cloud, I guess. Interesting.
Dinky.
Stone
I
to flesh.
cast fart spray. Ruh.
Barf spray.
Fart spray. Ruh.
Summon some kind of demon. That looks menacing. Certainly does. Don't try this at home. For real, don't try that at home. And then summon monsters. It's like this is like a monster summoning like animals and stuff. Big wild boar. Summon shadow. Do you remember meeting Darlene, Josh?
I believe I do.
Yeah. Well, this was drawn by Darlene.
Cool.
Yeah. So she goes all the way back to original D&D or well, advanced D&D. Has some iconic drawings in those. Telekinesis. Transport via plants. That's interesting. Well, I'm stuck in a diamond. Cool. Wall of fog. That looks cool. Does this fly? Oop, didn't mean to do that. Walk. Oh, okay. This is must be wind walk. Through this spell, the caster alters his or her body to a vapor-like cloud and flies through the air at high speed. Okay. Wizard Eye. Oh, yeah. This catch him in a thing. Catch him in a poker. Man catcher. Then here's the monster section. So if you take a look at the scroll bar, um, we've gone through about 40% of the book and we just hit monsters. So the spells, character creation, everything, alignment, all that stuff is all done with, and now we're hitting monsters. I do think monsters are the bulk of the book, and then at the end it's going to be like you know dungeon creation and different tips and stuff for the DM. So this is going to be a fun section. It's going to have lots of pictures in it. We're going to kind of cruise through it just for time's sake, but you know, looks great though. Look at that black pudding just decimated that guy. Basilisk. That's a cool blink dog. Brigand. Man, I feel like I've seen that picture before.
Rig'em.
Brigham Young's. There's a
Yo,
brownie.
Smurfs.
Yeah. Brownie's got like cat whiskers. That's interesting. Oh wow. Gronk smash. Bugbear looks like.
Oh,
And here's your bullywugs. I thought this was like a trademark protected, but I guess not. Because old school essentials call them some gully gugs or something like that. I don't know. Do they have a turtle shell? Or do they just wear that for armor? Anyway, what do you think of all the stats and stuff on the monsters?
it's enough to give you a knowledge of where to go.
Yeah, it's all the basics, isn't it? It's what you need. It's very reminiscent of AD&D. I feel like it's all right there in a column. Um, yeah, no, it's good. What I would have liked is like a special, like special, and then just like a quick little blurb of whatever the things are, because you have to go down here and read about it in order to pick that stuff out. It's not hard to do, but it would be nice if it was just like special and like a quick little blurb so that you had a heads up about it. Another thing I would have liked is where's the hit dice? Yeah, if that would have, in addition to the hit dice, been like in brackets, like average hit points, that would have been really awesome. Especially with a high hit dice creature, maybe I don't want to roll 10 hit dice. But yeah, these are cool. creatures. Oh, the cockatrice gonna get you. Well, that's a good crocodile. Look
Gonna get you, get you, get you, get you, get you.
at that. Look at this cyclops. It's a big old thing. Clonk.
Yay.
Better run, boy. Yeah, can you imagine getting hit with something that big? Oh man, you're toast. Um, I wonder if the book reveals any kind of relationship between Cyclops and Cyclops men. You know, I did read this entry earlier, but I didn't find anything about that. And then we hit kind of the demons section. So there's demons and devils, just like in AD&D. Now, um, I don't know if it gives us a concise description of what those things are and what the difference between them is. Let's see, demons, they take half damage. All demons. All demons are immune to, okay. And tells you. All demons spell abilities. Okay. I think, okay. Demon lords are ancient, unique individual beings of the purest chaotic evil. I really think it's like it's an alignment. It's a difference in alignment between demons and devils. And the demons are kind of chaotic evil, and the devils are lawful evil, so they're more orderly, I guess. So here's some demons, and this is like, really harkens back to AD&D. There's Orcus, so you could actually go back to the monster manual and compare these, because these are kind of like a fresh take on it, but very similar.
Yeah.
Look at that Quasit, that's cool. And yeah, see, that looks really neat, huh? And then here's the devils. So these ones are ancient beings of the purest lawful evil. Yeah, so I really think that um, it really is a difference of alignment. Those guys look really good, huh?
Oh,
Very he really looks like he could use some chapstick pretty bad. But oh, he might have heard that. Oops.
dentist, dentist when goes to hell, big teeth.
Hmm.
Dissipator, that's actually a pretty cool name.
Yeah, better than being Mammon.
You
That's
think
so.
Beelzebub would be the fat one, but no.
You know what Beelzebub means?
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah.
It literally does mean that. Because Baal does means Lord, right? So anyway, me,
Mephistopheles.
yeah, Mephistopheles. So this,
Mephistopheles.
yes,
Mephisto from Marvel Comics.
right. Well, I do think that's taken from this is taken from classic literature. I'm pretty sure, bud. I think it's
Hmm.
Dante's Inferno, if I'm not mistaken. Um, let's see, Higher Devil, Barb Devil. Yeah, that looks like that. Yeah, it looks like the one from AD&D. That's so cool. And have you seen this picture before or something like it?
I believe I have.
There. I'll pull this up. This is the original picture, right? So this is kind of like a homage to it. It looks so cool. That guy, that demon just got a real bad cut. That's cool. I just love that stuff. Those are the Easter eggs that you get when you look through this book. They're all over, they're everywhere. It's such a great book. Like if you love AD&D or BX, I mean, you're going to just be thrilled with this because it's just so well done and such a good throwback. Like it brings out all the cool that you appreciated from the old one, but it's the play is better, and it's not it's not as like complex as AD&D is. It's more organized, better laid out. Um,
Yeah.
it's all in here too. Like I old school essentials doesn't have demons and devils in it, unfortunately, but they're all in here. Here's the dragons section. Cool. So this kind of gives you, I guess, a sense of you know dragon age and category. Then you've got different dragons according to colors. And of course, these look a lot like the dragons in AD&D. You remember the green dragon with the big fin on his head and everything. Gives you a bit of a proportion of size. Our copper dragon's good. Chaotic good. He's kind of being helpful. That's interesting. Okay. And then here's some, I think, Big Daddy dragons, dragons of the cosmos, mother of dragons. There's a dragon turtle. That's no joke. Yeah. Because what is that on its back? Like almost like an island or something. Dragon turtles are 200 feet in length. Oh my gosh. Here's a drow, a dryad, a duergar, a worm that goes in your ear. Ugh. There's your elementals. I like them. They look good. Yep. Oh man, that's not fun. Here's your beholder, Eye of Tyranny, and an Etin. I guess, it doesn't really matter what you call them, does it? As long as you can find the stats easy. So if you can just remember I, then here's your gas spore. And it's funny because like this is a total throwback, bud, to the original gas spore. Let me see. I'll pull up the original. Give me a second. Um, D gas spore. It's so fun when you see these kinds of things. See, that was the original, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's awesome. And I wonder if the original gargoyle looks like that. That just looks so familiar. Let me look that one up too. Gargoyle.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's the original gargoyle. So this looks much better, I have to say. But yeah, anyway. It has that same old feel though, right? Like it all feels like oh, there's gargoyles behind you. Watch out behind you. There's a gelatinous cube. And then check it out. Like the same guy that did the gas, did the ghoul, did the ghost, you know, that's just a nice touch.
Yeah.
The giants, same guy did all the giants, except for maybe that one. Those look really good, don't they? There's your giant ants, some animals. So you kind of have your pick of giant animals, right? Oh, that's gross. Giant earthworm. Giant ferret. Oh, wow. Giant fly. Oh, that would be gross. Giant frog. Actually, that's just like the giant frog picture in the original. I don't know. Did you ever see that before, bud?
Yeah, I believe I have.
Yeah. Trying to find a picture of it. So this is kind of right there. That's kind of like the iconic picture right there. So, oops, where is it? Yeah. So that imagery has been of a giant frog eating a guy. That's been part of the look of it for a long time. Got giant lizards, giant hawks, giant owl, octopus, pythons, just lots of giant stuff, giant rats. Oh, look at that giant slug. I like it when they show it for scale, because then you kind of know what you're dealing with. That looks cool. Giant snapping turtle. Oh man, those things are vicious and when there's a miniature. Giant tick. Gross. That kind of looks a lot like the giant wasp from original AD&D. Do you remember seeing that, bud?
No. Yeah.
See that? Looks kind of familiar, huh?
Yeah. It's getting pretty late for me.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, bud. Here, let's wrap it up then.
Yeah.
Or maybe we could do part two or something. Yeah, let's wrap it up and we'll do a part two. We finished off at Harpy. All right. Cool. Well, thanks everybody for coming and checking it out. We're so excited for Dragonslayer. It is really that awesome. It is every bit as awesome as you could have expected it to be. At least that's the way I feel about it. So, thanks for watching, and we will check you guys later.